So what I'm going to show you today is how to arrange a floral spray. This will be quite a good size floral spray with a few different elements. So I'm going to take my green florist tape, stretch it to activate, and because I'm doing so many I am just going to leave this on the strip. Now what you can do is cut these in half with a strip tape and it will make them a lot thinner and easier to work with. I don't have one to hand at the moment, so I'm just going to leave mine like this. And I'm going to start with the jasmine. Now I've done these buds as a closed jasmine, so we're going to start with this first. Take the tape and try and wrap it as closely to the top of your jasmine as possible. So I'm going to take that down part way. And then I want to add another bud. So that's going to come down to just about 1 centimetre lower. So we'll bend this one. And attach it next to this one here, as such. So then we can take one of our jasmine flowers that are open, a couple of centimetres down, we'll add the jasmine at an angle, and then we'll secure this down. This is our first spray. Take that down to the bottom and we can take this off. So I want to have 2 of these. So I'll do another one in a similar fashion. Same thing again. And take our jasmine and take that all the way down to the bottom and snap that off like this. So we have those 2 first. Now I'm going to go in with my rosebuds and roses. So I have a bud here, and I have 3 size various roses. I also want to add some foliage into here. So I'll take 3 leaves also. Now these have been done on a white wire. So first of all I'm going to have to cover these wires. So I'll take this to the top and just take the florist tape down like this. Same here. And I'll show you up closely. So you want to activate your florist tape, put it right to the top of the wire, twist it over, pinch it, and then drag and twist down until we can snap this off like that. And we're going to do that with all the others, and then I'll come back to assembling these. Okay, so we've covered all those with the green tape. Now I'm going to take the first bud, and halfway down I want to attach this rose leaf. So it will go there. I've activated my tape. And then again, we'll just bend our leaf backwards and attach this here. So you want to take the tape and press it around that base, and then just twist it around. And pinch as you go. So the stem on this one was a bit small, or the wire that I left was a bit small, so it does make it a little awkward, but there we go. And then we'll take the next one, this next medium size rose, and we want to attach this part way down. So as we come down to the bottom of this spray, we're going to now attach the next rose. Make sure those are secured nicely together, so you have your next flower. And then I want to add a couple of leaves in here. I'll take this leaf, bend it back where I've got my tape. I will add the next leaf. And then I want to do the other one quite close by. So I'll take this one. And you can, here we can leave some of the wire sticking out to allow us to move this around and fill any spaces when we put the whole stem together. So I'm going to allow this one to sit a bit further up on this stem, like such. So now we can move these around when we have our whole spray together. So now that I have this piece here, I want to add my jasmine either side. So take my florist tape, and again I'm going to take our rose spray. We're going to take the jasmine and connect the two here. What you can do also is we'll just twist this into one another to make it easier. And I will probably do the same, no, I won't do that. Alright, so I'll twist that. Let's get a nice good join here. Join this round a few times at the base to carry the weight. So I'm just going to keep going until it's nice and firm, because I really don't want this to be too flimsy, because I'm going to be adding more weight to this floral spray. And then the next one is going to go a bit further down. So we'll take the tape down. And then I'm going to just bend this so it's out of the way. And I want this jasmine to sit here, like this. Again, I'll secure this a few times. Wrap the ends around each other where I can. So there we have the first part of our floral spray. And then we can take these pieces here and move them as we wish. So it's a bit fiddly and it does take some practice. Now we're going to move on to the larger body of the spray. In the main body of the spray, I have 3 roses. I also will have some larger leaves. I will also have a few pearl flowers. So in the larger body of the spray, I'll have 3 roses, about 4 to 5 leaves, and some pearl-scented blossoms. Okay, so there's various size floral sprays that you can make. This is one of the larger ones, as you can see. And it's all been done in 3 parts, so I'll show you how that is. But the idea is, if you do different sections, so you're going to do your jasmine, your small roses and rose buds, your larger roses, and then the really large roses with your blossoms, and leaves, and then you can then put those 5 sections together to complete a floral spray like this. And I've also attached an 18 gauge wire to both areas of the floral spray. So you see I have a large one running through here to connect all of this underneath, and then I have another one running from the 3 large roses here, this section, running through to the bottom. And that's just to keep everything together, and it will help me when I lay this on top of the cake. This is the smaller version, so it looks a bit more of a posy style, I would say. And these are just clustered closer together. I haven't used the long piece of 18 gauge wire through the bottom. I didn't need it because I didn't need this to extend out any further than it already was. And this piece will go on the top of my cake. So it's very sweet and clustered, and I mean these will be perfect as you know, used on the side of your tiers as well, trailing down. They'd be really beautiful. So I'll show you how to do a kind of medium-sized spray now, which is going to be between a small posy cluster and then the really large one that I've done. So it'll just be like a nice medium-sized one, and it'll show you how to kind of play around with the sizes and put everything together. Okay, so to start assembling the spray, we have the first piece here with our 3 small buds, the leaves and the jasmine, which I showed you how to attach that. We've done the same thing here. We've taken our 3 medium-sized roses and we've just attached them just like we did with the first section. It's exactly the same, but it's just keeping to this idea of keeping everything separate. So I'll show you how I did the main body of the spray. I've got my 3 large roses. I've got 4 to 5 of the pearl centres, and I have 4 of my leaves. I'm working in 3s and 5s. It's a really good number to use when you're decorating a wedding cake, or any cake actually, just in terms of your flower range. And if you work in odd numbers, everything seems to sit a bit neater together and it just works better on the eye. Think of triangle shapes. So you always want to think of everything in design as a triangle. Everything's going to fit within a triangle. If you work towards that, your designs will look really good together and very complete. So I'll take my florist tape. Activate the stickiness. And then I'm going to take my first rose. Add the tape, and then I want to attach a leaf. So I add 1 leaf to this rose. I also want to attach a small bud on the outer side, so I'm going to put this high up as well, but attached halfway down the stem. Don't attach it at the base because I want to be able to move this around to fill any gaps. The same with the leaf. We're going to attach it about 2 centimetres down on its own stem so that we can move that around. That's 1 done. We'll do the same with the others. Add the tape, add a leaf, attach that there, and then I want to add some blossoms either side of the rose. One will be a bit lower. Again, not to worry too much in terms of where these are going, you just want them to look quite natural. I'm working on top of a soft or a sponge mat. This is usually what you'd dry your sugar flowers on, and it's just to kind of offer a little protection in case you drop them as you're working. If you don't have this, it's always good to just put a couple of towels underneath or something. Just anything that's soft in matting and will protect. Anything that's soft and will protect you if you drop something as you're working. It's nice to have that. I've dropped so many things. I mean, to be honest, these aren't always perfect. Sometimes you drop a flower and it will still break. But I've had a few small breakages on some of the petals, and to be honest, you can't really tell, so I don't worry too much. Right, now with this one I've got the extra leaf, so I'm just going to add this to the other side of my rose. And actually, this is, you could just keep this as it is. Like, you should keep a couple of these to hand. You know, this is like really lovely to just add on to kind of birthday cakes or something. If you need some extra decorations, it's always good to have a few things like this. Very simple designs, and like pinks and whites and, you know, ivory, purples, you know, reds, just typical things that people usually ask for. Keep a few of these to hand, and if you have to do a birthday cake for someone and it's a bit last minute, you know, you can always decorate the cake with these and they'll look really beautiful. So, we've got this. This is the last bit to do the main body of our spray. Take some more florist tape, and again, so I'm just going to add these side by side. I might have to play around with things a bit, move the petals. I want my leaves to be a little bit more on the outside, so I'm just going to attach them like so. So I'll show you up close on the camera. I've got my two sprays, got my leaves on the outer side, and I'm literally just putting the two together, and we're going to attach the tape here. Nice and secure, and then with my final one, I'm going to move these petals to the side so they're out of the way, and attach this one down below. And see what I mean about working in threes? It's much neater. If I was doing this in four, I would really find no room to stick another rose. And we've got our tiny filler flowers, which can be tucked in to hide any gaps. So again, we're just going to attach that one right to the bottom. And then, you know, we want quite a few twists of this florist tape. My guide to do this is just keep doing it until it feels really sturdy. If it feels a bit flimsy, it's still a little weak, keep going. And you want these to be nice and sturdy together. Right, so there we go. Don't worry too much about the positioning of your leaves and things now, because we'll change all this round when we come to the final piece together. So now we have three sections. We've got the top, or the focal point of our spray, we've got the middle part of our spray, and then we've got the bottom, and this is the longer bit that will kind of trail down as such. And again, you've got three really beautiful pieces of flowers that you don't have to put together. You could keep these to the side and use this in different floral arrangements. But now on to assembling the final part. So we'll take the larger part away for now, put that on my safe, and we're just going to attach these like this. Now, if you wanted a longer extension, so like the one that I showed you at the beginning, if you wanted a larger spray and you wanted it to trail longer, then you're literally just going to attach this further down the stem. So you'd attach it here, where the join is. or you want it closer, we can just move it a little more forward and it's there. If you find that everything's too compact and say you've not left enough wire here or your wires are a bit short, take your 18 gauge wire, cut it to size, and then you would wrap your tape around here and you would attach the next section here, further up. You could attach other pieces to here, you could attach leaves as you went down, but there you go, that would be how you would extend it, so it's quite easy really. You want an 18 gauge wire because it's very thick and it's going to support the weight of your flowers. The more flowers you add, the heavier it's going to be, so you want a really strong wire to hold that all together. So this is my medium piece, so I want it to be around here, so not too long, but I don't want a posy like the other one. So for me, I'm quite happy to have this to this size. Right, I'm gonna tie this around here, just twist and go. I want this to be nice and sturdy. And there's that, so I'm happy with this. And now I need to attach my posy. And again, it will just take some, get an idea of where you want things to be. Now I've got this, I'm happy where I want it to be, but I'm going to have to bend my wire downwards to allow this to fit into here. And you can bend it all the way down just to find the room, and then go back in and move your flowers up. This is probably the hardest bit because it's the most fiddly, and it's when you're going to have to try and get your hands in here and weave this. But just take your time and make sure you've got a nice firm grip and you don't drop anything. I'll do a small piece of tape and I'm going to add another bit just to get this nice and long. Now because the floral sprays are quite heavy in this capacity and these are going on single tier cakes, I would not put these into the cake, so I'm not going to worry about florist picks and the weight of these going into the fondant on a cake. I am just going to lay these on top. What you can do if they do feel particularly heavy is I may put a few dowels just underneath where they're going to be resting on the tiers, just to support the weight. But with the design, I don't feel they need to be inserted into the cake at all, they can just sit on the top. And there we go. So that's your centerpiece. So it's actually very easy to put together. It's just about having a plan. And then we have our medium floral spray.